No, do we like want to like put a little Margaret? This part is the extended material so that you know where to start.
Oh, Margaret, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey,
Margaret.
Margaret. Hey, Margaret.
That's all.
Margaret.
Like just
We're gonna cut.
right.
Whoever is Margaret.
Yep.
Amazing.
Well, that's gonna be the cold open now.
I know, right?
Hey, Margaret. Oh, Margaret, you're so pretty. Don't you understand? Who wants to talk about dragons?
I do.
I think we all do. I think we all are very invested in the concept of
This is bonus experience.
yeah.
Our cold open might be a little depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't hit record when we were talking about the church won't let us fuck dragons.
That's your fault. It's not mine.
Yeah, you missed.
Myth.
We didn't hit the record button fast enough on like the actually funny shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
Well,
not that
just
that
to
wasn't
catch
funny.
everyone. Just to catch everyone up on the funny shit that they missed, sometimes when Rob is our stand-in Margaret, he needs to clarify which episode in Caster is actually like the episode to edit. And I name the episodes really stupid things. And the episode we had previously was titled Church Will Let You Fuck the Dragons. So everyone was very pleased with that.
Yeah.
We had a whole talk
And this
about
whole episode is about how the church won't let you fuck dragons.
Church Won't Let You Fuck Dragons. And the good news is that the Scion line is here to help you with that. There's a whole book, the big book of bangable dragons, now on Kickstarter.
Bangable
Book
dragons.
of Bangable Dragons. When does this actually go to Kickstarter?
Tuesday, January the 19th.
Okay,
So like the day after this episode comes
yeah,
out.
this episode's gonna come out and then the Kickstarter's gonna drop. New Kickstarter drop the next day.
Yeah. All right. Check it out.
We're a podcast with a deeper look at the play experience and the finer details of running and writing games.
Yes, we are. We are also queer people speaking with authority about games.
Also, we swear.
Die mad about it.
Diamond.
I'm Ray. I'm an industry professional. I write. I do narrative design. I do character design. I do setting design. I do mechanical design. You can find me right now in print in Scion Tatanamaki, and Vampire Cults of the Blood Gods just came out. I'm very excited about that, and I haven't tweeted about it, which I keep thinking about, like, oh, I gotta make an announcement, and then I forget. And soon coming to Kickstarter, Scion Dragon, which also has some of my stuff in it. Yeah, how about that?
That was great.
It's pretty good, right?
That was
really
great.
Oh, thank you.
when you play back the audio, you hear me being like, yeah, real quietly while you were doing that.
Those are all things that I did coming into 2021 hot, talking up my achievements, talking
Yeah.
up my CV.
You talk about how awesome you are.
I do things and they're good. You'll like them.
You give me that good serotonin feels.
Yes. No more of this, oh, I did a thing. Will you look at my thing? It's like, no, I wrote words. I wrote thousands of words. Go read them.
Yeah.
Which is still kind of, no, we're it's a work in progress. We're getting
It's a work in progress.
Monica, who are you?
Who am I? I am also.
What are you bringing to 2021?
What am I bringing into 2021? Right now, not a whole lot, but let's.
Oh, come on. Hype.
Okay, sorry.
What should 2021 be afraid of?
You're stuck in here with me.
Exactly.
I have...
didn't happen to you. You happened to 2021.
Yes, I am also a industry professional. I have also done character design and narrative design. Well, mostly narrative development, because I don't think I've actually written any adventures myself.
Yet.
I've also but I've been in charge of many of them. 7, in fact. So I have also done development and mechanical development and mechanical design and character design and fiction writing. I'm
Oh, I
triple.
forgot fiction writing.
Wait, I do fiction writing too. And sometimes I do setting design, but sometimes I don't like doing that, so that's like not my favorite. Uh, but I'm a triple threat. Fuck you.
Yes, you do it all.
Yeah, baby. Hire me.
D, who are you? D, who are you?
Hi, I am also an industry professional. I do narrative design, system design, and some character design. I am a developer, first and foremost, and a game designer, first and foremost. And so all of those other things fall under those umbrellas, honestly. I have words that you can read on lots and lots of books.
Yeah.
Just, I think in the words of a famous redhead I know, Google me.
Is this the redhead that owes all of us approximately 7 burritos each?
Yes,
And
pretty
a
much.
pizza, like
He will,
redhead
he will
owes
never
us-
pay for his crimes.
No, never.
There's a burrito debt. Yes. So I honestly, you could find all of my achievements and accomplishments and bragging on daniellelauzon.com. So honestly, if you Google me, you will find things you can read. And there's links to Drive Through RPG, which is where most of my products are found. But yeah, so that's me.
At the
Hell
top of
yeah.
this episode, you were like, 50 strangers don't know my name, and then you have a website that is your name.
Literally
Google
with no
it.
traffic.
Google it.
I can tell you to Google it, but that doesn't mean you'll go there.
Google it.
I can lead a gamer to a book, but I can't make them read it.
Wow.
Speaking of gamers and books,
We're
Started
gathered here
2020
today.
there's a Kickstarter coming.
There is.
Kickstarter is coming.
Yes, there's a Kickstarter. Right? D.
Yes. D.
This
Oh,
is
it's
your
me.
baby.
I'm D. That's
you.
me.
That's you.
Your
That's
ba-
me.
your baby. Talk about
Yeah.
your word baby.
So my word baby is Scion Dragon, in which you get to
Got
play
dragons.
in which you get to play giant fuck off dragons
Yes.
and beat up gods
Yes.
as a giant fuck
You
off
get to
dragon.
be
You
a
could also
dragon
be
who
a fuck
fights
up.
God.
You could be a dragon who fights God. Yeah. It sounds way cooler. That sounds way cooler than the other pitch that I give people, which is it's actually kind of like a spy espionage game in which you are playing the agents of dragons who are trying to fight against gods and titans in a more subtle way. So they don't just come out and beat up gods. Instead, they help the titans beat up gods, or they help the gods beat up titans in hopes that they'll kill each other off, and then the dragons can just inherit whatever bullshit got left over.
Right, because the idea is that dragons were like the gods before God, like they're a tertiary group, right?
Yeah, they are. So like spoilers, because you'll be able to read the manuscript if you back the Kickstarter and you could see all of this. But the idea is that dragons are kind of primordial beings. And if I had to like classify them in a lot of ways, they would be in there with the primordials. And a lot of dragons are like Tiamat and some other dragons. Tiamat is not in mythology actually a dragon. She becomes a dragon and then gives birth to monsters. Disclaimer, I know she's not a fucking dragon. She is in our game though. So the idea is that a lot of these dragons were around before people, right? And it's kind of the science aspect of dinosaurs were here before people, and dinosaurs are kind of just dragons, because most mythologies that have any kind of thoughts about dragons is because they found a dinosaur bone. And then they were like,
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
must have been a Dargan. So
Yes.
people have wild imaginations. It's rooted in real world things. Not all mythologies are based around that, but they found a dinosaur bone. So if I take this idea that like dinosaurs were here before people, that means that the dragons were here before gods, because gods came when people came, in the sense that the belief in gods came when people came. And so when gods were just people, heroes trying to aspire to be gods in the Scion sense of things, and then they formed pantheons, and the act of forming a pantheon rewrote the mythology of the world to mean that they were always gods, right? And that's kind of
Right.
Scion's take of how pantheons kind of shape the world around them through this kind of greater fate thing where, oh, but it's always been true that we were the gods of the world, which is how all mythologies are true, right? Because the gods just keep kind of like fuckering around with real history to make it fit their paradigm.
Right. Fuckering. Yeah.
Fuckering. Yeah. It's a technical term.
Mm-hmm,
So, so dragons, though, were like, well, we were actually here first before you and your worshippers and all of your stuff started happening. And what did you just do to me? Did you just make me part of your pantheon? I didn't ask for that. Wait a minute. What? Now why are you killing me? I mean, I just ate a couple of your people. What the fuck? They were tasty. So, uh, so there's so the idea is that there were dragons, they were doing their thing, and then people showed up and they were like, we're gonna either we're either gonna eat them because they're tasty, or maybe we'll help them out because they're kind of cute. Like elephants think people are cute, dragons think people are cute. So there's some elements there of dragons were here first, but then the gods came and they rewrote history. Dragons are they were there first in the sense of the world. It's not like, I know some people were like, oh, secret history of the world, we're so upset. It's not a secret history of the world. It's just a reframing of the truth that dragons believe.
Right.
Is that they were here first, and then gods came by and changed the truth of the world around them. And for dragons, they're like, no, but I remember the way it used to be. Now, that's their narrative, and if that's true or not is really up to the reader. The dragons could just be like, no, we want to have always been here, so that's our truth, and that's what we're saying. It could be the truth, it could be a lie that they tell everyone so that they can feel superior. Who fucking knows, right? But we present it as a truth, but it's also presented from the point of view of the dragons.
Right. It could be said that they're unreliable narrators.
A little bit, and only in their own history, and some of that is because they don't necessarily remember, because while they do remember things before the gods came, the gods' fates are so powerful that they literally rewrite reality, which means that reality has been rewritten for dragons quite a bit.
Right.
So what they remember and what they don't remember, what they think they remember, is maybe subject to some scrutiny from the outside, but from the inside, like, fuck it, they know everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's cool.
I mean, yeah, they're dragons, of course. They're gonna act like they're the best. King of Shit Mountain. So this is also presented as kind of an optional like addition to the Scion line, like not required at all for the rest of the game.
I mean, no, of course not. Like, no supplement is required to play the base game. I think it is a really interesting additional counterpoint to the Titanomachy. Gods versus dragons is a thing. Gods versus dragons. Oh my god. Gods versus titans is a thing that that is an important part of Scion. But some of that is in the background. Some of that is a little bit of a Cold War. And so having, in a Cold War, having a third element that is playing both sides against the middle, or is, playing spy games in the middle of that, really adds a depth of nuance to stories
Right.
that I think adds a whole lot to the game. So even if you're not playing as the agents themselves, as the heirs to dragons, even if you're just including them as an antagonist organization in your base game, I think they add a lot to a base game of Scion. But of course, they're optional, just like any
literally every
supplement.
non-core book is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is, in fact, an adventure in Titanomachy that sort of ties into it a little bit.
Yes.
It was our little preview of what Dragon was going to be like.
Could add to your story.
Could add to your story. Yeah.
Yeah, it can add to your story, right? And I think the interesting thing of playing as heirs to dragons is going to be the fun aspect of one getting to play a person who can shapeshift into a big fuck off dragon.
Right?
Uh, like I'm excited about that, if nothing else. I think the mechanical design, if I'm going to toot my own horn and Monica's,
Boop, boop.
is toot toot motherfucker. Uh, it is really top notch. And so I think playing as dragons, having dragon magic, having the knacks associated with being a dragon and transforming into a dragon is going to feel very satisfying. And then the games that you'll be playing as a dragon character is going to be, instead of, we're going out and doing heroic deeds and being the big fuck off heroes, is instead going to be more subtle. We're following a mystery, we're investigating a thing, we're reclaiming a heritage. So the stories are going to be, I think, more subtle and more thought-provoking style stories,
Okay.
that also can engage in action-packed spy thriller bullshit.
And
Nice.
forgive me if this is off base, but it also sounds like you could do some more morally gray stuff with a
Oh
lot more
yes,
comfort because you
yes,
don't have to worry about being virtuous or
right.
adhering to these the being a hero.
Yeah, so one of the main mechanical differences between being a dragon's heir and being a scion of a god is, the scions have these virtues, these pantheon virtues that they exemplify one side or the other, and they're not diametrically opposed virtues. They're just one virtue versus the other. Which one are you more exemplifying at the moment, right? And trying
Right.
to keep those two things in balance is actually a little important to a scion, where if you go too far on one side or the other, there are benefits to that, but there are also drawbacks. Where in dragon, there are no virtues. Dragonflights don't care about virtues. Fuck that.
Virtues are for
Um,
humans.
virtues are for humans. Virtues are for people who care about divinity, even, right? That
Yeah.
dragons are not divine. They're just there, and they're ancient. And so we have what are called remembrances, and this is the path that your flight, so not even your parent but the group itself, wants you to follow and wants you to exemplify. And so it's your dragon side and what they want out of you, and then how you rail against that and exemplify humanity. So for your heir, it is diametrically opposed, and being on one side, more on one side or the other, again, has its benefits and drawbacks. But the balance isn't between two virtues, it's between becoming too much like a dragon or resisting too much of your draconic nature. And so it's an
Yeah.
internal struggle that is very individual of, do I give in to being a big fuck off dragon and do big fuck off dragon things, and do I eventually start eating people, or or do I resist that and am I just a guy in jeans and a hoodie all of my life?
In jeans and a hoodie. What? Like the most normal dude thing you could be.
It is like literally the most normal dude thing you could be. Jeans and a hoodie.
So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about uh memory seems to be a theme through the book. So let's talk about memory as a theme.
Yes. Okay, so memory. The dragons, I talked extensively about how dragons believe they remember what the world was like before gods. And that's true, they do. But they remember what the world was like every time the gods made wide sweeping changes to what the world was like. They have all of those true memories overlapping one another. And that's a lot to hold on to. And so no one individual dragon holds on to that. Instead, they have a collective kind of zeitgeist memory that everybody can tap into. Um, and this collective memory is extraordinarily important to dragons because unlike gods, instead of never being able to truly die and having this kind of mantle that somebody else will just pick up and then that person just becomes that god, or, they just kind of come back after they die a few years later or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Dragons just die. They can be killed. They have been killed in mythology and history and all this kind of stuff. But dragons can also reincarnate. They can come back, but the way that they do it isn't the same. Somebody doesn't just pick up a mantle of dragonhood, because dragons aren't divine and they don't have mantles. So how do they come back? And the answer is that they reincarnate through one of their heirs. And so this collective memory is how those dragons aren't actually dead. Their memories are still in the collective memory, and their memories are like shards of themselves. And so if you consider a memory as almost like a transhumanist concept, where you're in kind of this mental playscape where every memory that anybody in your group has ever experienced is kind of been uploaded into this cloud, and you don't necessarily have it in your head at any time, but you can access it anytime you want. But when you go in there, you don't just find your own memories and other people's memories. You also find these dead dragon memories, and these dead dragons want to come back into existence. And so they are going to be trying to manipulate people to move things into place so that they can eventually reincarnate. So we have a lot going on in the idea of memories. Um, Beyond that, if you're an heir, you can also now, because you have essentially either been chosen by a dragon or you carry some draconic lineage from the time when people fucked dragons. Uh,
Yeah.
then you or if you have a memory, like essentially a memory shard of a dragon who is trying to reincarnate through you, you now have access to this collective memory. And so as an heir, you have this ability to, one, remember things that you've never experienced before. It's how your dragon actually communicates with you. They send you memories that they want you to experience that will lead you on the right path. A lot of it is manipulative, if you think about it in a way that's like, I've been given this memory and I'm trying to figure out what it means and I'm trying to learn about it. And it's really like this dragon who's trying to get you to go to that place that you just remembered to do something for them. It's the little manipulative that, oh, I had a dream about this thing. It's actually been implanted there by a dragon. So the dragons, but they're not so manipulative that you have to go do it, right? You can absolutely just be like, well, I had this memory and I'm pretty sure it's from my dragon, and that guy can go fuck himself. I'm not like, bad dream, we'll forget, leave me alone. So so you can either like lean into the memory and investigate it, or you can ignore it at your leisure. That's not a compulsion. But to a certain degree, it is something that you want to, if you want to become more draconic, if you want to lean into your heritage, then this is the way you do it. You follow this kind of breadcrumb trail that your dragon is leaving you to discover what it is they want you to find out. And the way that we make this not gross is we let the players decide what memories are important to their character or what memories their dragons have given them. So the story guide can say like, oh man, here's this big memory of this thing that you need to do to spark off an adventure, right? That absolutely can happen. But what can also happen is, say during an adventure, while a couple of characters are investigating, anything, literally a pot, a vase, they're trying to collect an artifact that was stolen from a culture that they belong to and return it. And you get into the museum or whatever, and the player can be like, okay, so we're going after artifact X, it's a sword. And I look over on the wall and I see a tapestry. I think I want that tapestry to spark a memory. And now I have decided that tapestry is important to my dragon, and it invoked a memory that I need to now do something. I don't even need that tapestry to be the focus of the memory. It just sparked the memory. And now I've decided on a new path I want my character to go down, has been given to me by my dragon's memory. So it's a way to set goals for yourself and kind of hand wave that your dragon gave you a memory to do a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's also a way for the players to engage in the kind of concept that while I, as a player, may know what goals I have for my character has no fucking clue what's going on in their life. So I, as a player, can be like, I want this weird thing to happen to my character, and instead of having to be like, okay, but storyteller, I need you to have somebody come and give me this plot seed, I can just be like, oh, holy shit, I just got this thing from my dragon memory, and
Yeah.
now
Instead of, I don't know why my character would be motivated to do this thing that I want them to do, you can just be
right,
like, oh, your dragon made you do it.
New memory
exactly,
drop.
yes.
New memory drop.
Right. And there's cool stuff attached to memories in a mechanical sense. There's a system for it in which you can invoke a memory and it can compel you to do things, and leaning into following the memory is the way that you gain more draconic power. So just like your legendary deeds that you do in Scion, now you have these memory deeds, and you have to accomplish a memory deed to be able to increase in your legend equivalent, which is called inheritance. um, so yeah, I think it's a cool thing. I think you can also like pull on memories to like remember how to do a thing you've never done before.
Yeah, okay, like, Matrix style.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
downloaded jujitsu.
Right.
That kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, it's also fun because one of the main play experiences that you could explore in Dragon that I think is really cool is finding out who you are, and not just who you are, but like, I have this dragon ancestor, it's giving me memories and I don't know who it is. And
Right.
so one of the
Yeah.
things that could be a major play experience is just finding out who is giving me this cryptic messages and finding out everything I can about them.
Right. Because speaking as someone who wrote a little bit of dragon stuff, when you make a character, you don't necessarily go the way you do with Scion, where you say, okay, I'm a Scion of Apollo, or I was
Yeah.
adopted by Amaterasu. You can just say, I don't know. I know I'm in this flight, but I don't know which dragon is technically my ancestor, because for whatever reason, maybe that dragon is dead, maybe that dragon hasn't made themselves known. Like, you can literally just go, I don't know who I am, which is a fun thing to explore. Like, you can make that a whole character arc.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's I think one of my or two of my SIGs that I wrote don't have stated heirs.
Yeah, they don't have, yeah, it's just the flight that they belong to, but don't have like, they don't know who the person, the dragon is. And that's also fun because we don't actually present a lot of dragon options. There's about like 6 per flight, which if you compare that to dragon, I mean, compare that to Scion, where there's 10 to 13 gods per pantheon.
Uh-huh.
Right, it is a much lower number. And we do that on purpose, right? I want to give you some examples of what a dragon would look like in this flight, but I also want you to I want you to find dragons in mythology that inspire you. I want you to make up your own dragon. I want you to explore the concepts of the driving goals of the flight without focusing on, well, is Leviathan actually a dragon? Or is Jormungandr actually a dragon? Like, okay, but that's not what the point.
Do we
Right.
do we want to talk a little bit too about characters, personages, dragons who are double dipping?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
you just like Nidhogg and Algwong and
Algrong is actually, I think, triple dipping.
yes, Algwong is triple
Algong
dipping. Yes.
it's god and a titan and
Uh,
a
So you said
yeah,
earlier that dragons don't really have mantles,
sure.
but they can also be double and triple dipping, which
Yes.
sounds to me, just from someone who like has been part of creating Scion's cosmology, which is weird,
Mhm.
and sometimes
So weird.
inconsistent, kind of intentionally. Um,
Yes.
that like, so let me see if you agree with this take. I don't know if the book talks about it at all. That like dragons are sort of something separate. They're closer to primordials, who can also get double dipped into mantles too. And
Yes.
this
Right.
sounds to me like a god is like, I am also that guy. And then they sort of copy the identity into their mantle, and that's how things get weird.
A little of both. So it can happen that way, but I think there's, we do address how is a god a dragon? How is a dragon a god? How
Mhm.
is a dragon also a titan?
Right.
Right? Because gods and titans are divine. Dragons are not divine, but they are as powerful as divine creatures. And so, how does a dragon go from being a dragon to being a divine creature? And, that question and answer comes in, how does a person go from being a person to being a divine creature?
Mhm.
I dug into this some with Neil, and in true Neil fashion, he had a lot of answers that just confused the shit out of me. Uh, because Scion sometimes does that. But in the long and short of it is that when pantheons were being made, right? And gods were becoming gods. In some cases, the pantheons were like, "Hey, dragon guy, do you want to be a god with us?" And the dragon was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I've been having fun hanging out with you." And then they were like, "Cool, here's a divine mantle. You're divine now." And they were like, "Cool, I am a divine being. I am no longer a dragon. I am this divine being instead." And after a while, they were like, "Was I a dragon? I think I was a dragon. I if I take this mantle off, if I take the mantle off, I'm a dragon." So some dragons are wearing godly mantles, uh, and or titanic mantles that were gifted to them in a sort of way by gods. Um, but they themselves didn't create the mantle, and they didn't even necessarily ask for the mantle of godhood in some cases, or titanhood, especially titanhood, right? So a lot of the dragons who are also titans, there's a ton of them, didn't necessarily want that for themselves, but when the pantheon was forming, it kind of got thrust upon them in a trickery kind of way.
Okay.
You can't just throw a mantle on someone and have it stick. But, when, you know, Apep, Apophis, when Apophis was chasing down Ray, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So.
Rob, Robbie,
uh,
Ro.
yeah. When Apophis was chasing down Ray to eat him for the injustice that he saw was going to happen in the future. And the gods were like, "God, what a fucking titan." And Apophis was like, "Well, I mean, if the shoe fits, fuck you, I'm gonna eat you." Uh,
Lace that bitch up and wear
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh.
yeah. So, he accepted it, but not because he knew what it meant, or even because he wanted it, but because he wanted the end goal of being able to eat Ra. And
He's
it just,
whatever it'll take to get to eat raw.
yeah, pretty
Ah.
much. And then, now there's a Titan Apep and there's a dragon Apophis, and uh they know each other exist. They kind of deny that they are the same person,
All
entity.
right. Yeah.
So, and that's just one story, right? There are other stories where, a lot of the, I think Nidhogger in Titanomachy, there's a little blurb about how he's also a dragon.
Yes, and he's
But he
mad at
doesn't
Right.
himself.
really,
There's
and he's mad
Nid
at himself.
Nidhogger and Nidhogger.
Yes.
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 Maybe I got that right.
I don't. Yeah, so he's mad at himself. And in Dragon, he doesn't understand uh how that little thing, that little titan over there could be him. And how could how dare he let the gods do that to him?
Were they written?
This
Were they written
is
by the
all
same
stuff I
person?
So written by the same person,
they're
yes.
written, yeah. Well, yeah.
That's great.
This is all like stuff I already knew, but it's also all stuff that I'm internalizing because I'm still working on my fan supplement for Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Oh, yes.
I'm making both a Dragonflight and a Pantheon.
Yes.
So look for that later. I don't think I could fucking sell that, but look for that
Yeah.
later for free.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
wanted to play a Scion of Saros or an Heir of the Immaculate one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
anyway,
yeah, Ao Guang, am not sure, like, forgot. Also, all written by the same
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
And, except
Did not forget. Just
no,
accepted that bargain.
right. I
He was
believe
just,
he's
you know,
just
like,
like, yes, I am all three things.
yeah. No, he's like, right now I need to be. So it was. I think his story is more like, right now I need to be a god because that's what's best for me. And then, oh, you want me to be a titan? Yeah, okay, if that serves. And then like the dragons are like, hey, but you're a dragon. He's like, yeah, I know. I'm working on it. Like,
He's really a delightful villain in
yes, he is.
Titanomachy. I don't know how Dragon presents him.
A little like that,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
so Kickstarter is coming up.
Yeah,
How
Kickstarter.
much can we actually talk about the Kickstarter itself? Like stretch goals and shit.
I mean, I don't know which stretch goals will be announced early, but based on any other Kickstarter by Onyx Path, there's going to be a companion book available for both Scion, Dragon, and for Masks of the Mythos.
Yes, yes.
And each like monetary breakpoint, which I don't know how much money it will be between each one, will add elements to each companion book. The more money we make, the more we can put into the companion book.
Yeah, okay.
So that's just basic OPP Kickstarter 101. Like that's
Yeah,
always
okay.
true. I have suggested some hopefully some new flights that can get put
Yeah.
into the companion book.
Yeah.
Hopefully some new rules that can expand some of the rules that we don't have fully fleshed out as much as I would like, because there's only so much I can fit into one book. And so I have suggested these things. Hopefully we'll reach them as Kickstarter goals. So I can't really say exactly what they are because we announce them as the Kickstarter progresses, but give us more money
Yeah.
because I want to write more content for Dragon.
And if you back at a certain level, you get the advanced copy, right? Like you
Yeah,
get,
you
okay, we're
only
going to be collecting errata and all that.
Oh yeah, you only need like the $5 is all you need to pledge to get a copy of the manuscripts, both of
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
And we'll be unleashing the Dragon manuscript first in the first 2 weeks of the Kickstarter, and then the second 2 weeks of the Kickstarter you'll get the Masks of the Mythos manuscript. So the idea is that hopefully the way the Kickstarter is structured, because it's two separate supplements, Mask of the Mythos is not related to Dragon in any aspect other than it is a Scion product.
And
But
vice versa. Dragon isn't
right,
related to Mask of the Mythos.
yeah, other than they are Scion products. So you can, if you're interested in the Mythos stuff, you can just back to get a Mythos book. If you're interested in the Dragon stuff, you can just back to get a Dragon book. If you would like both of them, you can back and get both of them. There's different tier levels for all of that, one, either or both. So you can kind of, it's like a menu of options that you can choose between. So if you're backing, the at Dragon, you will get the Dragon companion. If you're backing the Mask of the Mythos, you'll get the Mythos companion. If you want both, then you'll get both the companions, kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
It's
I'm excited.
I,
I am excited. I'm very excited. I can we talk about can we talk about what's in the book? Can I
Let's do
wax poetic about how much I love my children?
let's do that as bonus content.
yes,
Yeah, if
yes.
you
Okay.
okay, so
Okay.
people who are listening at the regular rate, if you really want to hear more stuff about the Dragon Kickstarter, you better go give us $1.
Yes.
Go give us $1, then go give the Kickstarter like $5.
$5.
Yes.
And
And
That's
then you'll
your
know
that's
everything.
then you'll know everything
your
for the
expense
price of
for the
$6.
for 6 whole
And
bucks.
And I think the $1, I think what we need to do is not just talk about what's going to be in the book, because then they can go and a $5 pledge will get them that information through the manuscript. I think we could dig a little bit into some of our design principles behind why we chose to do
Yeah,
some of
hell
the
yeah.
things we did.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, it's my favorite thing to talk about. I think that should
I
wrap
know.
our regular episode because we got some good stuff to talk about. And if you want the rest, that's premium content. Go pay for it.
We're gonna go talk about the premium content.
Yeah. Let's do the closing ceremonies.
Monica.
Yes.
How you doing, Monica?
We've been over this and it's tenuous at best, but go on.
Still tenuous, huh? Nothing changed?
I mean, I was enjoying this conversation we had.
Okay.
It was a nice little pick-me-up in the afternoon.
Yeah. All right.
Semi-human contact is a
what more can you hope
plus.
for in the age of Rona?
Yeah.
What stitch is this? What stitch am I on?
You're on the we're ending the episode stitch.
Yeah, right.
Where are we on Twitter?
We are on Twitter.
Where am I?
We are on Twitter. You can holler at us on Twitter at bonusexpcast.
That's right. Okay, what about like you personally though?
Me personally, if you want to follow me for some combination of tabletop discussion, Genshin Impact art, and political posts, political retweets mostly. I don't actually comment on most of that. There's much smarter people than me out there. You can follow me at Zenith Sun.
Okay. If you wanted to follow me for much the same reason you would follow Monica, except with about 80% more impotent rage, you can find me. I'm Ray W. Cole on Twitter.
We one more thing that they need to know. Do you remember?
D.
Well, yes.
D, what's your Twitter?
That too.
I feel like Monica was going somewhere else with that, but you can find me at Impernius on Twitter. If you want to find me, if that's hard to spell, you can always look for me on www.daniellelauzon.com, and that has links to all of my social media stuff.
It could be hard to spell. I don't know that it's even a word.
It's not. It is my 16-year-old self trying to spell impernicious and spelling it incorrectly, but then it became my user handle on ICQ.
Oh my god.
Actually, that was originally on MIRC.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Yeah.
Monica was appeased, but I was not. All right, well, email.
There you
Monica.
Go. You got it.
Monica, where can they email us?
They can send us an email that I am remembering to check now.
Good.
Yeah, they can send us to bonusexpcast@gmail.com. It's the Twitter handle at Gmail. The word sex is in it.
What about the word sex is in it? Yep. What about
our website, maybe?
Our website, yeah. What about our website? Yeah, Monica, what about our website?
Our website is bxpcast.com. It's different than the other ones.
It's different.
Yeah, we have not mentioned yet in this episode that we are a member of the Misdirected Mark Network.
Oh, we are a member of the Misdirected Mark. I don't know why we're still a member. I don't know why they haven't just kicked us the hell out, but we're a member of the Misdirected Mark Network.
Ding.
Yeah,
somebody.
Ding.
Yes,
ding.
Thank you. We didn't advertise other shows, but there's lots of good ones on there.
Shit.
We didn't do the mid-episode break, so we're just to cover our bases, so the MMP continues to let us live there. There are all kinds of really good shows in the Misdirected Mark Network. You should especially check out their flagship show, Misdirected Mark, where they stream live. I think it's every Tuesday in the evening, something like that. They do a live stream that's sort of like a live BXP, but not with us. So, with their own
a lot less chaos.
Yeah, less chaos, more structure. But you would probably enjoy it. Check it out. They have a real blurb, but I'm not going to dig it out right now. Sorry, my apologies to send in Phil.
We'll be better next time.
Yeah. Also, remember to toss some money at Nerdy Cappy, who is our sponsor. They have all sorts of cool quality queerware, including Scion, fan-made Scion merch.
Scion merch!
Yeah, they have like a Team Scion shirt and mug, which Spider designed specifically for like the authors, but give them money. They're great.
It's not like he's gonna ID
right,
you
yeah,
and try to get a Team Scion.
Spider will gladly take your money.
It's really nice and sweet, and you don't actually have to be a member of Team Scion to see to
support the team.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Right, because it says Team Scion, absolutely divine, and it's just
yeah.
it's just so punny.
I
I
have
love
one.
it.
Yeah, I
I
have
have
one.
one. I'm
It's
I'm
a
actually
great mug.
drinking my tea out of it this morning.
I had my
Not
coffee in it this morning.
Yeah, like I didn't intentionally do that. It's just in my rotation of regular tea mugs.
Yeah, I should get one, but I have too many mugs, and I currently had my coffee out of a "Don't talk to me before I've had my podcast" mug.
Who got you that?
Julia.
Leah.
So anyway, yeah, go to nerdykepi.com and use code BXPcast for 10% off at checkout, which is a code that never expires. So if you want all kinds of cool stuff, you can just keep going back and going back, and it works out great for all of us. And you can look forward to us moving our merch to Nerdy Kepi in the near future. That's probably going to be part of our big update. We're going to do a big update.
We're doing a big update later. It'll be fun.
Big update.
Anything else you need to add? I just thought I'd cover our bases that we usually do in the middle.
I think that's okay. I think we're good. It's been a while since I've podcasted for this long.
It's been a while. It's been an hour and 42 minutes and counting.
It's been so long.
Yep, and this is Monday's episode, so this is all
Oh my
all your
god. I played
I'm
myself.
You did.
I'm so sorry that you have a lot to edit.
I played myself.
You did.
Well, everybody get
Stop
out.
recording. Get out. Go home.
It's late here. I gotta eat.
Change it if you want to.
Change it if you want to.
Was this the season? Was this the season finale?
Yeah.
Change it if you want to. This is the season finale. Bye.
Bonus Experience is written and produced by Monica and Ray. Their sweet logo and art are by Nina Studios. And their bitchin' theme song is reused always with delight by Analog by Nature. Used under the attribution non-commercial Creative Commons license. Me, I can't wait to play my Raccoon Totem Full Moon Lunar Exalt when Exalted Essence Edition comes out. See yous next time.